Hello everyone, welcome back to Darkfall 1, the journal. Continuing investigating this computer, we were going to look at the weather and solar updates. Excuse me. Okay. British Isles rain will spread across most of Scotland with a few heavy falls in parts in the northwest. A few patches of rain are also likely across northern parts of Northern Ireland. Apart from northern England, which will see an increase in cloud, the remainder of the country will have largely clear skies, with a risk of ground frost in a few locations. England, which will see an increase in cloud, the remainder of the country will have large clear skies. Okay, just summarizing what I just read. The visibility will be moderate to poor in rain in the north, otherwise it will be good. The wind will be moderate to fresh southwesterly to westerly, becoming strong in the far north, but in the south winds will be slightly westerly, providing clear visibility and clear skies. This will continue till dawn, when some light rain is expected. Okay. 12-hour forecast, wind southwest 6 or 7, occasionally 5 around the shore. Weather occasionally rain or showers, visibility or showers. Visibility moderate or good, sea state slight to moderate. Outlook for the following 24 hours, wind southwest 6 or 7, easing, west or southwest 4, later southwest 6. Weather, occasional rain, visibility moderate or good, sea state slight or to moderate. Okay. Joint USAF-NOAA report to solar and geophysical activity, SDF number 298, issued at 2200Z on 29 April 2003 IA. Analysis of solar active regions and activity from 242100Z to 252100Z. Solar activity was at high levels, region 9672. S18W27 produced a X1 3B flare at 251502 U2C with the associated Type 2, estimate velocity 900 kilometers, and Type 4 events observed, SOHO/LASCO. Imagery indicate a full halo CME with a plane of sky speed of 884 kilometers. Region 9672 also produced 3 minor C-class flares. Region has grown significantly in the last 24 hours. Minor storm, major severe storm, high latitudes, minor storm. Okay. Nothing of much use, I can imagine here. Even if there was, how would you know what information you needed to use? That is super complex here. Okay. Okay, a web page. Can actually type up there. www.google.com. Apparently not. Okay, you gotta do all that first. As you can see, there are 7 notes. Okay, here we go. 7 notes in an octave. This set of notes is repeated across the whole keyboard of a piano. The black keys in between are called accidentals, pronounced accidentals. But we will look at them in another lesson, so you don't have to worry about them. The photograph to the right shows my finger pointing at middle C. The diagram to the bottom right shows a scale. You find these on printed or written musical manuscripts such as sheet music. The large black dots represent the notes that you play. The notes are labeled on this diagram from F through to E. Next, we will look at some notes. Look at why some notes look different than others. They have holes in them and dots next to them. But for now, just practice with what you have. See you next time. Last updated the 4/26/99. You are visitor number 3. Okay. Let me look at my phone for a reference of that picture that I did take. Sliver of paper. Here it is. Okay, so it's should be GG A B GGAB and then C. Okay, so if she's starting on middle C, then it would be GGA, GGA, B, and then C. 1, 1, A, B, C. Okay, so maybe we've got the answer to that then. G, G, A, B, and then end on C. Should take a picture of this. Oops. Pardon me. Dropped my phone on my keyboard. Okay. Ghost Hunters UK News. Welcome to the Ghost Hunters UK, the first web forum for ghost hunters, paranormal photographers, and their fans. The forum is currently down due to dispute with our service provider. We apologize. It cannot be helped. Feel free to explore the other sections until this problem is spirited away. New in focus. Dorset Polly White talks about her plans for the Dowerton experiment, the supposed haunted hotel of the Southwest. Okay. Residual. These are like tape recordings, usually seen in the same location, replaying the same scene over and over to different people. A traumatic event leaves an incredible recording on the building or location, replaying itself forever. They may be seen as a glimpse of the past, recreating the traumatic event, or simply heard as footsteps up and down a hallway. Anniversary. As their name suggests, this type only manifests on significant anniversaries, deaths, birthdays, and other times that were meaningful for the deceased, or are historical significance, or are of historical significance. They may be replaying a special event on that one day or night. Intelligent. These spirits seem to have intelligence. They are interactive, similar to the poltergeist. They can be full of curiosity, playful, and sometimes dangerous. They may attract attention by making noises such as footsteps, slamming doors, or lifting, moving, and hiding objects. Excuse me. Energy orbs. These are the most often photographed spirits caught on film. They are seen as transparent or translucent balls of light hovering above the ground. Swirling patterns can be seen inside them. This could be energy of some kind. Okay, and focus. Yeah, I didn't read this. The topic starter we are asked most of the forum is, what are ghosts? Although it is a repetitive question, it is perhaps the most important one. The problem is there's definitely no one type of ghost, so we have put this section together to answer at least some of your questions. Enjoy. Select one of the above selections button to learn more about ghost lore today by Corbin Redar. Okay. In focus. Myself and other Weymouth student Nigel Dammers have been funded by Hayden Industries to conduct a full investigation at the old Station Hotel in Dowerton. Over the next couple of weeks, we will set up various pieces of standard equipment, as well as a few toys. Lent to us by the sponsor, naturally any results we get will be posted on this board straight away. I'm a huge fan of Ghost Hunters UK and see this as an opportunity to really pay respect to those who have contributed, not only to the site, but my own studies as well. Do read my Ouija tips, as I have found them quite invaluable in the past, even though I hope not to descend into such things during Dowerton experiment. With the expenses laid on, it seems a little unfair. Polly's Ouija tips. Believe no one will come through if you aren't larking about or doing it for fun. Keep the questions simple. What is your name? How old are you? Where are you? Are you alone? Okay, I should take a picture of that. Those are good questions. No answer doesn't mean there is no one there, just they don't know what to say. Keep note of what comes through. You may have to piece together sentences. Don't do it alone. Two heads are better than one when it comes to judgment. Say goodbye. You may trap a spirit here. They won't like that. Be warned. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. I didn't do that. Radio interview. On April 1st, no joke, Polly White was interviewed on KMC Radio 4's This Working Life show. The interview focused on Polly's obscure choice of career and the Dowerton experiment. She candidly explains the setup and motives behind the event and gives some background to the setting, which many might find interesting. Due to security enforced by the Crabtree Estate, the station and hotel are not open to the public. The radio recording is in web radio format, and we apologize for the sound quality. Copyright KMC MM11. View transcript from interview. Listen.
That program is repeated on Saturday at 2:15 p.m. With the time 11:30 GMT, we join Stephen Ashurst for a new series of This Working Life. Good morning, and welcome to This Working Life with me, Stephen Ashurst. Each episode will be focusing on individuals who have chosen interesting and sometimes strange careers for themselves. This week we interview Polly White, a self-confessed ghost hunter, and Joanne Coles, a promoter of traditional Yorkshire puddings. And finally, Philip Luzek, an organic bird food farmer from Brittany. Okay, firstly, Polly, good morning. Why such an odd profession?
Well, firstly, I don't like to think of it as odd. Really, it is such like another science, sadly a rather ignored or ridiculed one. The routines, practices, recording and experiments follow the same rules and criteria. I like to refer to it as an alternative science, rather like you have alternative religions and medicine.
When did you first become interested in, to coin your phrase, the alternative sciences?
Funnily enough, I was doing my foundation course at the time for a regular physics degree. I had a supernatural experience and became interested in the cause and reason.
Care to elaborate?
Of course. Well, I was at Sussex University at the time and had been for 3 months. Some friends and I were talked into trying a Ouija board session. Naturally, I at first thought the idea ridiculous, but went along with the others, if only to scoff at them when nothing happened. But something did happen.
Care to elaborate?
A lengthy and sustained conversation with an intelligent spectral phenomenon. It quite shook me up at first, and then I became fascinated. Within a month, we had all dropped out of our courses and were seeking alternatives. Regular physics just didn't seem rewarding or exciting after that night.
You did find an alternative course. Would you like to talk about it?
Yes, I was reading a science fiction magazine and saw an advertisement for a new group of experimental courses at Weymouth University. They are the brainchild of Henry Cuttle, who actually lectures on everything from the supernatural to warp science theories. It was partly Henry's influence that got us the Dowerton experiment.
This is your new project, yes?
Yes, sponsored by Haddon Industries. Myself and fellow student Nigel Danvers are spending the next couple of weeks, and possibly more, in the abandoned station and hotel just outside the village. Sadly, the buildings are about to undergo a major redevelopment to convert them into a bar, club and restaurant. This is a pity, as the building is essentially a living museum. The owners, the Crabtree Estate, have kept the place as sealed as possible. They lost their son in 1947. He disappeared from the hotel.
Ah, yes, I remember reading something about that. He disappeared, didn't he? Along with several others.
Yes, all on the same night. They were not the only ones either. As recent as the early 80s, people have been disappearing from around that area.
Do you believe they're connected?
It would be less realistic to think that they are not. It's too much of a coincidence.
The police don't agree with that theory, do they?
No, they still state that George Crabtree abducted the guests and staff after midnight and disposed of the bodies. This is, quite frankly, ridiculous. Where are the bodies? Where is George Crabtree? Did he dispose of himself as well?
What is your theory?
I haven't got one, yet. We are hoping the experiment will provide some clues.
How are you going about it?
Haddon Industries have lent us a wonderful array of gadgets and equipment, some experimental, others obvious, CCTV, microphones, and an operating system designed especially. We're very excited about it.
It does sound terribly exciting. Is there a possibility that you could return to tell us some of your results?
Certainly. I look forward to it.
Thank you. That sounds brilliant. Okay, over to you, Joanne. Yorkshire puddings.
Oh, we're not going to get to hear about Yorkshire puddings? Come on, man. So pretty sure that was Jonathan Vokes, too. I mean, he voices most of the, excuse me, male characters, I would assume. And Polly, her voice actress, we've heard her in one of the rooms as one of the female ghosts talking to us. Maybe that's Jonathan's girlfriend or wife or something, possibly. Helping him with the voice acting work. Okay. Got my headphone cord tangled in my microphone. Alright. So yeah, I couldn't do any subtitles on that, unfortunately. That stuff is just not subtitled. Okay, so you can read it out here. Okay, I'll scroll down it. I'm not going to read it again though. Well, I didn't read it to start with, but I'm not going to read what was spoken. Just give you time to pause and read if you'd like to reread what we just heard. That's the way these games are, you know, there's a lot of reading, a lot of listening, story-driven. I don't mind it personally, just not a great speaker or reader, apparently. Stumble over my words a lot. Things are written a little strangely, though, and there's some typos in this game, so I'll blame it on that. Of course, the more games I record for YouTube and the more reading I do in this manner, I guess the better I will get. or the worse I will stay. Guess we will see. We're almost at the end here. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to get to learn about Yorkshire pudding. But we can learn about it. So look it up. Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding is a baked pudding made from a batter of eggs, flour, and milk or water, a common British side dish. It is a versatile food that can be served in numerous ways, depending on its ingredients, size, and the accompanying components of the meal. As a first course, it can be served with onion gravy. For a main course, it may be served with meat and gravy, and is part of the traditional Sunday roast, but can also be filled with foods such as bangers and mash, whatever that is, to make a meal. Sausages can be added to make toad in the hole. The 18th century cookery writer Hannah Glasse was the first to use the term Yorkshire pudding in print. What is a bangers and mash? Sausages and mash is a traditional dish consisting of sausages, mashed potatoes, British dish. Excuse me. Okay. And then what is toad in the hole? Sausage toad is a traditional English dish consisting of sausages and Yorkshire pudding batter. Okay. Historically, the dish has also been prepared using other meats, such as rump steak and lamb's kidney. Okay, I don't think I ever want a toad in a hole. I don't know about bangers and mash either. Maybe the mash. I'm just not a sausage person. Let's put it that way. Okay. What were we doing? Okay, we were learning about Yorkshire pudding. All right, we just listened to that, so we're done. Okay. Yeah, so that's Polly. All right, television. Wednesday, Discovered Channel 2130 Haunted London. Okay, new series hosted by Anneka Rice, exploring the many haunted sites of the Capitol live. Wednesday, Sci-Fi Now, 12:15 and 23:15 Sightings. The long-running series broadcasts this special Ghost Hunters episode, including a live broadcast from Mason Gill, Normandy. Thursday, KMC2, 2320 Ghost Watchers Remembered. The infamous spoof Ghost Hunter, gets the discussion it deserves. Still banned by the KMC. Never to be shown again. What did shake a nation that Halloween? Okay. Sponsors. News. Okay, we outshine the competition. Stuck in the dark. Afraid. Glowday.com. I wonder if we can type that in the browser. Doesn't let you click go. press enter. Okay. Frequently asked questions. We've already been here. Okay, when you click sponsors, it just shows that. Right? That's the piano lesson. And this one, 20th Century Mysteries. I like how everything slowly loads in, like it's back in the America Online days. Mysteries of the 20th Century, a century of disappearances and sightings. Welcome to my 20th Century Mysteries site. Here you will find fascinating tales and true stories which will thrill, fascinate, puzzle, and intrigue. See, there's a typo. All information on this site is submitted by you, the users, so I can take no responsibility for the accuracy of the material. You too can submit a story which you think will add to this site. Please take note, Elvis sightings are not welcome. I receive at least 10 each day. You are still a guest member, which means that you can only access a few pages. Full membership allows access to the whole database. We currently have 302 members, which we hope will increase in time. Whatever happened to Flight 19? Okay. At about 2:10 p.m. on the afternoon of December 5th, 1945, Flight 19, consisting of 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, left the U.S. Naval Air Station, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on a training flight. The weather conditions over the area were considered average for training flights of this nature. A radio message intercepted about 4 p.m. Around 4 p.m. indicated the instructor was unsure of his position and the direction of the Florida coast. The compasses on the aircraft were not working. Attempts to establish communications failed due to interference, static, and atmospheric conditions. All radio contact was lost before the exact nature of the trouble or the location of the flight could be determined. The flight was never heard from again, and no trace of the planes was ever found. It is assumed that they made forced landings at sea in darkness somewhere east of the Florida Peninsula, possibly after running out of gas. The sea in that area is rough, though there is no evidence of freak storms at the time. All available facilities in the area were used to locate the missing aircraft and help them return to the base. No trace of the aircraft was ever found, even though an extensive search operation was conducted until the evening of December 10th, 1945. One search aircraft was lost during the operation. A PBM patrol plane was launched at approximately 7:30 p.m. December 5th, 1945 to search for the missing TBMs. This aircraft was never seen nor heard from after takeoff. No trace of the plane or its crew was ever found. Okay. Where is Lord Lucan? Or Lucian? I think it's Lucan. Lucky Lord Lucan vanished in 1974 after his children's nanny was found bludgeoned to death. 2 decades later, the Earl is still accused of killing Sandra Rivet and of attempting to murder his wife, Veronica. The 29-year-old nanny was battered to death in a dark basement after being attacked with lead piping in the Lucans' luxurious London home. Lady Lucan is his estranged wife, believed by police to have been target of the attack, was then attacked and seriously injured. Lord Lucan, a well-known gambler who had fallen into debt, left letters protesting his innocence and then vanished without a trace. Lucan was last seen alive at Uckfield on Britain's south coast later that day. A car he had borrowed was abandoned 18 miles away. Friends say he committed blank, and his family has tried to declare him dead, allowing them to inherit his estate. Police believe that Lord Lucan may be living in southern Africa. He is still sought on a murder warrant the first ever issued for a British peer. What happened to Glenn Miller? Glenn Alton Miller, 1904 to 1944, trombonist and band leader. Miller was the most popular band leader in the world. He joined U.S. Army in 1942 as part of the Army's morale building. He formed the Glenn Miller Army Air Corps Band. He was in England in December of 1944. He took off in a small plane bound for Paris to finalize arrangements for a concert. The following day, his band reached Paris. To find no trace of him, Miller had never arrived. No trace of Miller or his plane was ever found. Okay, where is Matilda Fly? What happened to Amelia Earnhardt? Okay, we'll stop this video here, guys. Like I said, these games have a lot of reading in them, so some of these videos are going to be dedicated to just reading. Of course, I would tell you to watch all of my videos, but definitely to watch all of it to learn as much as you can about the story, because I do try my best, for better or worse. I try to read everything I can in these games for you guys. So, we'll stop this video here, and when we come back, we will read these last two little stories. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next part. Bye.